Welcome everyone to Slide Deck B2. This is all about marketing plans. What are they and why do we make them? So we have an idea where we want to go and maybe even what we want to do about it. Now it's a matter of actually making it happen. The marketing plan reflects the write-up and a process that will help you coordinate, communicate, and enact that plan. So here are your learning objectives for this slide deck. First, you're going to defend why a marketing plan is important. You're going to describe the parts of a marketing plan and just get a better sense of understanding the marketing planning process as it's exhibited through the marketing plan. So this presentation is best done after going through the Chapter 2 slides, and especially Chapter 2 and the appendix. And by Chapter 2 slides, I mean Slide Deck B. So what is a marketing plan? A marketing plan is a written document that summarizes what the authors have learned about the marketplace and indicates how the firm or whatever organization you have will respond to achieve stated objectives for the marketing team and other firm members. In essence, a marketing plan is a guidebook for a time and set of marketing activities. So it is a guidebook for the timing and the set of marketing activities. So sometimes many of the questions go, well, why should I make a plan? Why can't I just run in? Why can't I just jump in? Okay, you may be sold on the strategy, but why bother with making a more formal plan? Well, it is important to have a marketing plan because it helps to cement that planning process. Plans are only so good as they can actually be put into action. Writing these things down clearly lists the reasoning, actions, and intent behind a plan. An organization, after all, is all about achieving a larger mission. It is of little use if your planning is not actually translated into action and results. So how many of you have made a business plan or some sort of other formalized plan? Well, here's an explanation for those who've not yet done so or just want to refresh for those of you with experience. A marketing plan is just that, a plan. We make plans to keep us on track and to help us do what we want to do. A marketing plan is a way for firms to state what their objectives are, what seems to be important to their decision, and how they're going to go about doing them using marketing activities, knowing those objectives and environmental conditions they've got. So in effect, you lay out the plan, the justifications, the timing. It provides a basis for comparison of actual versus expected performance. And it's not like something you have to just remember. It's all there in the book or the report. You want to be able to provide clearly stated activities to work toward common goals. A plan provides an examination of the marketing environment, and it serves as a reference for the success of future activities, and it allows entry into the marketplace with awareness. So many of you have likely executed plans as part of your work, but even as consumers, we make plans. Let's think of a more generic one. I plan to see a movie. I have to know what my mission is have fun by seeing a movie. Number 2, I do a bit of research where I look at the situation around me. What do I like? What can I do? Where do I go? What are my competing alternatives? So, movie is in the theater. Movie from Netflix. Not seeing one at all. Then you put the plan into action through implementation. I go about actually aligning times, cars, people, and so on. Evaluation happens throughout implementation. It refers to how we see whether we are achieving our goal to see that movie. Often we have controls, where we may have times in mind to hurry things along, or to know whether to give up on the plan, say, okay, movie tomorrow. And at the end, I can see if I've seen the movie by that weekend, then I can tell my plan worked. Controls, again, can be throughout, such as if I'm at the theater by 5 p.m. or whatever, I know I'm on track. But if it's 5 p.m. I'm still at home, probably a bad sign. So why did I talk about those other plans? It's to remind you that the plans are what you've always done, even before you went into the workforce. you already know both how to execute and form plans. A marketing plan is set up very similarly, just with marketing activities. So in sum, planning is only part of the strategic marketing process. Drafting a written marketing plan that details the rationale, objectives, actions, and assignment can help your firm better achieve its goals. So remember, big idea is that the marketing plan is as much a way to judge whether your desired actions and outcomes are wise as it is to communicate and coordinate. So, laying out your assumptions, use your estimates, gauge expected performance, serves as a reference, and to communicate and coordinate by laying out the actions, justification, timings, what outcomes are desired, the metrics and benchmarks, and so on. So a marketing plan, again, is just that, a plan. We make plans to keep us on track and help us do what we want to do. A marketing plan is a way for firms to state what their objectives are, what seems to be important to their decision, and how they're going to go about doing them using marketing activities, knowing, again, those conditions that you have at work. So in sum, the marketing plan process sharpens your plans by making sure your idea makes sense and that you have an actual document you can use to communicate and coordinate people and resources. We do have two caveats to writing a marketing plan. First, it is only as good as what's put into it, the data analysis especially. And second, it's only as good as it is followed. So that being said, just because there are steps to the marketing plan doesn't mean you have to term it all in sequence. Often you will be jumping back and forth as you gain data and look at what you can and can't do. But you can see how the plan itself is meant to coordinate and keep you on track. So next section, we're going to now talk about what goes in the marketing plan. So here we are, the parts of the marketing plan. These are what goes into it. The marketing strategy and how the plan will be enacted to fulfill certain goals. That's what goes in it. It's basically a write-up of what you found during the marketing strategic planning process. So here's what it looks like. We're about to go over each section in turn, so don't panic. I just want to show you that all these pieces fit together. Effectively, the plan is just a way to explain what's your overarching goal, how that informs the local immediate objectives you set given the environment you're in, and then the nitty-gritty of what you're actually doing. So let's see what this plan looks like. If you wish, this is a good time to make sure you have covered Appendix A of your textbook. This is how they'll all broadly fit together, though. We're going to go over again each in turn, and the ultimate question is, what will the firm do to continue to create or maintain a sustainable competitive advantage through their marketing activities? So all these elements are common to all marketing plans, even if they don't have that precise title. Broadly, you have to have a mission in mind and objectives. You analyze your environment by doing things like a SWOT analysis. You determine a target market, and then you establish a marketing mix. If you notice, these steps go from the more abstract, longer-term, grander scope to more focused and local steps. In essence, you set the stage about who you are, where we are, and where we want to be. You lay out the environment, who we are again, what's specifically going on, and what about the world can we do something? Then you actually lay out the particular tasks that will help us achieve those objectives based on what you're seeing out in the world in our own company. And this plan is how you broadly outline your marketing plan as well. So now let's get to it. Let's go to So let's see. The first is the strategic focus. First, you have a portion where you stress your long-term strategy and approach. You explain who you are as a company, and more importantly, what is the business of your of your business. What is your purpose? This is the way the firm organizes what business it is in, that is, what value do they seek to deliver to its customers. This suggests that types of actions that are important to this firm. The book's plan has a company description and then the strategic focus and plan. Notice how they include their business mission, goals, and a list of core competencies. They're basically setting the stage for strategy by first showing what the organization brings to the table. What do we aspire to? What can we do? What resources do we have? The next sections will continue the pair by explaining the external environment, since after all, the strategic focus is a combination of who we are and the world we respond to. So in sum, strategic focus, the long-term approach and strategic direction your organization takes. Next, orange is objectives. This is within the plan. The marketer sets their objectives based upon what they know about our business statement and the approximate situation around them. These tend to be broader goals, such as those that are part of the more 5-year, 10-year business plan. They should still be specific. Notice how they stress in your Appendix A that we should be among the top 5 chili brands. Your number 6 are falling in rank from 4 to 5? Then you have a good sense of whether you are failing those objectives or perhaps about to fail. So this section, broader long-term goals and objectives, right after strategic focus. Third, you have a situational analysis. In essence, in this part, you're looking around to see what current and future factors are present in your environment that might impact our plan. Who are your competitors? What is your firm's strengths? Is there a healthiness trend going on? What are the current sales data telling us, and so on? This section is not just about all factors that might matter, though. You don't have space for that. It's specifically what are the most important factors that this plan will deal with. For example, green marketing consciousness may be pretty important for McDonald's, but right now the obesity concern is even greater, so the green marketing initiatives take backstage for this plan. So it's common to break out specific sections such as industry, company analysis, or market or customer analysis, and so on. Meanwhile, less important but interesting items can still get varying levels of space, such as through a table or appendix if you're out of space. Notice how in the chili example, they completely fill in a chart. However, the next section in each relevant analysis stresses only the most important points. So again, big idea, you develop the things that are most important, but you can still have lots of ways to still cover interesting and important points in the environment. So in sum, situational analysis lays out the major factors that have guided the formation of this plan. Fourth, you have the market product focus and additional objectives. That's where the marketing strategy comes in. Now you're working to bridge that fit between your organization and the external environment based upon what you've done in part 1, but also how you wish to be in the future as well. So given your broader objectives and the situation, what's the new plan? In this area, you lay out your objectives for this particular marketing plan. What are the objectives and goals that this particular plan and its set of actions will take? What does it aim to achieve? And to what purpose? What is this plan's central value proposition and target market? So we outline in this section the firm's approach in terms of the target market, the positioning, and our sources of competitive advantage, such as our points of difference and whatnot. For each strategy, you set a target market that you wish to focus on, since you may have multiple target markets in a plan. Then you explain the core of your marketing mix. Will you be introducing a new product, changing where it's available, perhaps altering the price? Your strategy will often be centered on this particular marketing mix change. Perhaps, again, changing a price, introducing a new product, or a strong rebranding campaign. So for example, let me give you an example of what I mean, because some of you are going, wait, how is it different from this section again? Let's use Crayola crayons. So, for example, Crayola's general strategic direction is as a handicraft company that creates supplies and materials to inspire artists of all ages. It's a pretty good general strategic focus. But a specific plan might be that they're increasing the level of revenue from the high school market by marketing colorful, erasable highlighters to that helps them make their mark anytime over the next back to school season. So you'll notice that their general strategy is as a handicraft company and making supplies, but the specific plan will focus on specific objectives. So in sum, this section introduces the key strategic approach for this specific marketing plan. Fifth, now we're at the marketing program itself. This is where you detail what marketing actions your firm will take. So product, place, price, promotion. Most firms do not have a special CSR or social media section or anything like that. They usually just integrate these into these. These tend to be written in a very straightforward manner, such as the product has these specs and packaging. We're going to run ads on Instagram and offer coupons. We'll offer through our online website, e-commerce site, Etsy, and at a local salon owned by my cousin. So it helps to briefly cover the reasoning behind the actions as well here. You're not going into long description, but for example, the Howlin' Coyote explained the cents off coupon is meant to encourage trial and repeat purchase. The beauty item may be offered at the cousin's salon because her clients are likely to be more receptive because she already uses it as a part of her services. So in sum, the marketing program section lays out how we'll actually try to achieve our plan's goals. Broadly speaking, this is where we lay out those 4 Ps in a pretty straightforward manner. Here's the plan kind of phrasing. Finally, at the end, you explain how the plan will be put into action. This is where you'll lay out specific details like responsibilities, finances, timetables, tasks to be done, and so on. This is a section where you explain your evaluation plan as well. So you'll determine whether your plan is working. For example, you might say in 3 months, we anticipate a 5% increase in sales. In 10 months, it should be 15% market share, and so on. Ultimately, you also have contingency plans if you're not meeting objectives. If you haven't met benchmarks, you can choose what you wish to do. Advertise more, draw back, and so on. In sum, this section lays out the specific details of how the plan will go, and crucially, how you'll be assessing your plan as it happens. Okay, so that gives you a sense of what is a marketing plan, why we do it, and what are the major steps. Final part to this is going to talk a bit more about bridging the marketing plan with all that strategic discussion we talked about and that marketing planning process. So stay tuned and hope you're having a good day and evening so far.